This is genuinely a fire video, a really important topic about cold outreach, about volume, and how if you're watching this, there's a very high likelihood that you underestimate and do not understand just the sheer volume that is required to have success, to have meaningful results, and that what your expectations of what you need to do. Fortunately, unfortunately, you're going to have to raise your expectations of the work required, but you'll see how truly easy it is to get a return on investment with cold email. And I'm going to show this just so that you take me seriously. Here is 35,000 in monthly recurring revenue with my business TaskBlink to cold outreach agency. Just refreshing my screen. It's not anything super crazy, but just refreshing so that, yeah, it's real. Okay, moving on. So pennies in, thousands out. This is supposed to be a super simple breakdown of what cold email actually costs to run. And this is going to be based off an example of, let's say you make $3,000 as the lifetime value of your typical client. And think about it like this. When somebody pays you once, over the lifetime of that client, you're earning 3,000 or more. That's what this whole example, and particularly the number 3,000. And that could be, if you're listening, let's say you charge $750 a month and the average person stays with you for 4 months, right? This could be you. Someone stays on average 3 months, pays 1,000, stays 6 months, pays 500 a month. You get the point. And so we're going to break down the math to explain, here's what this actually costs to articulate what you actually need to do to make a return. And that if you've sent 1,000 emails and you're not getting results, don't freak out at all. And this will explain that, okay? So what you're actually buying, right? And if you're hiring an agency, this is just, hey, this is actually what goes into it. If you're doing it yourself, this is extremely important to know. Okay, so basically, like typical software, you're paying around $100 a month to automate these emails. I highly don't recommend that you try and send these emails yourself. And if you are purchasing through one of these softwares, you can actually acquire emails for as low as $3.50 a pop, $12 for the domain for the year, and you're looking at about $39 a month for a dedicated server. If you don't understand why you need all of this, that's a different video. Now let's go into adding this up, like what this actually costs when you add it up. So we're looking at across 30 different email accounts, the domains and dedicated server, and the software. You're looking at about $248. That's it. What does that $248 get you? 22,500 emails every month. Crazy, right? And if you're in the B2B space and you're making less than this per client, right? Change your pricing immediately. You're screwed. Watch other videos before you watch this one. But basically, you're probably earning more when you pick up a client than this. Now, and if you're watching this video, how many of you have actually sent this many emails? And so let's put this in perspective. If you could send this many emails to get one client, would that be worth it? And have you sent less than this amount of emails, let's say 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, and you're like, oh, it doesn't work. I just want to put in perspective just like how little this actually costs in terms of what you could actually send and still make a return. And yeah, so this is painting the picture of what sending an email actually costs. And so let's say in this example, one customer equals $3,000, right? Here's how many emails you can send per single customer and still hit that goal. So you're looking at a break-even point of 300,000 emails. That is how many emails you could send to hit that break-even point. No one wants to break even. So you can double your money on 150,000 emails to get one flipping customer. You could 4x your money on 75,000. Now, I just want to paint a picture here as well, that this is especially for those that have sent 5,000, 10,000 and feel like, or especially a lot of people have sent 1,000 and are feeling like, hey, it's not working, right? And don't get me wrong, it's totally possible to send this many emails and actually get nothing, right? You could send blank emails, right? So everything is offer, data, deliverability, and then multiply that by volume. And basically, like I've made a little post about this on LinkedIn, going in more detail about that, which is particularly speaking on the subject of if you're going to test an offer, right? Think about it in terms of minimum 5,000. You have no clue if it works or not until you've at least sent 5,000 cold emails at all. In terms of if you're getting positive replies or anything of that nature, you just don't know what's happening yet at that point. And in terms of testing your offers, that's the kind of volume you're going to want per testing, right? And it's not like you run a test of 5,000 and, oh, it didn't work, so it doesn't work for me. No, like that's just testing an offer, right? And once you find out, oh, I can get a positive reply by sending X amount of emails. Okay, great. And how many positive replies to get one booked appointment, right? And then you can determine based on if I make $3,000 per person that I sign on to my agency or whatever it may be. And then you have a conversion rate of, let's say, 20%. So 1 in 5 people that book an appointment with you on average will turn into 3,000. So basically 3,000 divided by 5, $600 will be your value per appointment. And then you can trace that back to what the value of each positive reply is, what the value of each contact is, what the value of each email is. And then you just send more emails, right? In terms of scalability, it is a numbers game. And also for the people that are still thinking about it in the terms of just looking at it like it's yourself, you're not 300,000 people. You're not 100,000 people. If you don't look at your emails, great. It doesn't matter. Like you don't need to look at your emails for 1 in 10,000 people to look at theirs. And it's not like only 1 in 10,000 look. I think you're getting the point is that you don't need even 1%. You know? So if people are like, oh, most people don't look at their emails, most people don't have to, right? This is a numbers game. And so in a decent campaign, one customer in every 1,500 emails, that's $15 spent to make 3,000. And this is just an extreme example in terms of you don't need, it doesn't even need to just be that 1,500 emails. But ultimately, the point being made here that I want to emphasize is the sheer volume that is required. Okay? And if you're not having success yet, just take a look at these numbers, and I hope this is motivating you to go out and send more. Send more. And then not just send more, but then test your results, right? Try and get more positive replies with the same email, right? You can, after 6 months have gone by, you can now retarget that same list with a new offer, right? Work on building those lists up. And if you're watching this and you're like, you know what? That math makes a lot of sense. But I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it, but I would love for someone to do it for me. I run a cold outreach agency called TaskBlink, so I would be more than happy to help, more than happy to explain this in greater detail. But nonetheless, I hope this provides some value in terms of positioning the opportunity that is cold email. And to say that it doesn't work, ask yourself, have you really even tried? Okay, that's the end of the video. Hope you got some value.